listening to the Bernie and Sid Show on 77 WABC. This is former Congressman Anthony Weiner, and I'm listening too. And I can't figure out why.
The guy pulled out his gun, he cocked it, put it to my forehead, he said, get down, and I was like, I put my hands up, I was like, whatever. He took our money, he took my wallet, and he left my cell phone, he left my credential.
That was Ryan Lochte down at Rio.
What a mess. Don't forget to pack your bathing suit and your gun when you go to Rio.
Well, welcome to my old world, Ryan Lochte.
The Bronx is worse than Rio de Janeiro?
It was the Bronx. It was Yonkers. It was in the cab. It was working in the deli. It was gunpoints.
Yeah.
And smacked over the head and stealing the money.
Isn't Framingham a lot like that, Kurt? And Marblehead and Sharon and all those? No.
Were you ever robbed at gunpoint?
Me?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Where?
What do I have to talk about this
You're
for?
a liar.
No, I swear to God. Avenue U in Brooklyn.
Is that right? Okay,
Yeah.
so
Hillary-
welcome to our world.
Hillary
Ryan.
Clinton held him up at gunpoint.
What's the matter with you?
She held up the nation without a gun.
Has
actually.
been.
Have you
At
ever
least
been held
Jesse
up by
James
gunpoint?
wore a mask.
What about you, Curt Schilling? Never?
Nope.
Never.
I carry my own.
Ah, yes.
Nice.
But be careful because Hillary, she's going to take that away from you.
No, she's going to start to take it away from you, and then we're going to let the rest of the politicians finish that.
Is that that's how it's going to go?
Well, I don't know. I don't want to find out.
Yeah, it's going to be. Before we move on to Hillary Clinton, I know you have some strong feelings. Curt Schilling joins Bernie and Sid in the studio right here.
Are there any other kind?
Well, I guess there are some people who are just on the fence, actually. But you, first of all, the Olympics. As a former athlete, a great athlete of all time.
Hall of Famer, in my opinion.
What do you disaster on the Olympics or something you're following?
Not like I used to. I mean, I can remember growing up, the Olympics, the whole family sat and watched the Olympics, and it was a special. I mean, you look forward to it. Now it's not the same for me.
Well, let me ask you this: do you think that because a guy like you doesn't like Obama, doesn't like Hillary Clinton, thinks this country is a mess, going down hell in a handbasket, do you think with all that said that it's something that gets excited about winning a race in a pool when the country is losing the race?
Well, but I appreciate.
I mean,
that's pretty deep,
right?
But I appreciate the effort, right? I mean, every 4 years, you wait 4 years to do this, and that kind of a commitment, that kind of work ethic to be the best in the world of something. It's pretty cool. Michael Phelps, I mean, that was
incredible.
Every one of them was incredible.
Yeah. Usain Bolt is amazing. God.
Why do people like race him still? Like, he needs to. He's going to win till he dies.
Right, pretty much.
Yeah, well, but the Olympics, the ratings are again down on that whole thing. And,
terrible.
I don't know. It's just, to me, skip the male gymnastics and show us more ping pong.
Well,
maybe you'll get some ratings.
Ping pong's
also,
good.
They won't show the ping pong.
I don't know why.
When we grew up, you had, 4, 5, 7 channels?
Yes, you did.
Now
you have 100.
And the other thing is, people can DVR. They don't have to watch the Olympics live.
Yeah, but why would you want to do it if you know the guy won?
Well, but the same reason some people do it for Sunday Night Football.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
And, some of the things that they celebrate too, like NBC and the media, like the female Muslim fencer. I mean, that's a beautiful thing. She won a bronze.
Enough of that. I'm
but
with you.
they celebrate this, but they don't include her anti-Semitic tweets.
No.
I mean,
right.
Let's present the whole full story, okay? Media, please.
No, I don't disagree. I mean, if I can't watch Costas, I can't watch Lauer, I can't watch any of them. I can't.
1-800-848-9222. Bernie and Sid. Curt Schilling live in studio. More with Curt.
He's running for president.
A lot with Curt.
He's going to run for president. It's not a joke. This is serious stuff.
Back after Deb with the news.
Get to Bernie and Sid now. 800-848-WABC. Where New York comes to talk. 77 WABC.
Remember what he said? He did not have sex with that woman. Then a couple of weeks later, you got me. Oh, I'm so glad they kept the dress. I'm so glad they kept that dress. All right? It's great. You know why? Because it shows what the hell they are. All right? It shows what they are.
Donald Trump talking about Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky and the dress. I did see our friend Lonnie Davis yesterday on with Skamonish, whatever that guy's name is.
Smirkanish.
It didn't go well. It didn't go well for Lonnie. No. No, I mean, you
surprising.
can't. Yeah, because you got Hillary in line. You can't defend her. But I will say this before we get to Curt talking
that
about.
was CNN. That's why it's surprising.
Right. Exactly. And he kept going on and on about how he's down the middle and he's trying to, both guys. So anyway, I'm on Twitter last week, and you can follow the show at Bernie and Sid. I'm at Sid Rosenberg. And I see our friend Curt Schilling here, the great Curt Schilling, in a battle, a war with former great New York Giant linebacker Carl Banks.
Well, by the way, I love Carl Banks, who I know him very well, as Sid does. He's off the hook. He's half out of his mind. I mean, he has got demons in his head, and he's a big dude, as you know.
Big dude.
Boy.
And extremely liberal. And it got to the point we almost set up an actual debate. Forget about Trump and Clinton. It was going to be between Schilling and Carl Banks at Kingsborough Community College.
He's actually a fashion designer on top of everything
he makes
else.
clothes.
But what was the deal?
He was complaining.
That what?
He was just being liberal.
He hates Donald Trump, and he likes Hillary.
But where was he doing
the
this?
racist
On Twitter.
On Twitter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, he said who was being a racist?
I don't remember how. So I responded to him initially, and then it got going. I didn't realize who he was until near the end of the conversation. I was like, wait, because I grew up a Steeler fan, so screw the Giants.
Right.
But
especially after what they did to Tom Coughlin.
yeah.
Dead to me now.
Did he call you names?
No. He was cool about it.
He was cool.
Yeah,
right.
He said, so, and I think both at the end, he said, I think we have a lot more in common than we both might think we.
He is a nice guy.
Yeah,
very nice guy.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Very nice guy.
It wasn't bad. It was just we were doing what Americans are allowed to do.
So can we do what you turned down Stephen A. Smith to do, which is have a debate between you and Carl Banks? Can Sid Rosenberg and
I would moderate it.
Well, you're talking
Henry
about
Kissinger.
Moderate.
Yes.
First of all,
what?
Stop.
You want me to use the debate?
I'd be like having Anderson Cooper interview Donald Trump. Yeah, moderate.
But I'm here too.
No, I'd be fair. We'd be fair. We like you. Yes.
I know.
I'd be on your side. He'd be on Banks' side.
I'm on nobody's side.
You're on Hillary's side.
No, I don't like her. I just like him
You're still going
less.
to vote for her?
Well, I like him less.
That's such a...
I
don't even... That's...
What? Let's go to Twitter. Right now, me and you like Banks.
Stop.
Okay, so speaking of Donald Trump, and we'll keep that in mind with Carl Banks, all right? We could set something up.
We should do it.
We have a rapprochement between you and Carl Banks right here on the Bernie and Sid Show. But on the Donald Trump issue, I mean, by all accounts, he's tanking in the polls. He's saying things according to the media that he's and perpetuated by the media, putting his foot in his mouth, and they exponentially, blow it out of proportion. Your thoughts, Curt Schilling?
The media is not perpetuating anything. The media has is driving the narrative to get her elected.
That's true.
They've made it very clear that they want her as the president, and the scary part is they've stopped being deceitful about it. They're just openly, blatantly irresponsible, ignorant, stupid, and all the things.
They are all in. As one website
gross.
They're giving Trump the full paling.
Listen, she is the most corrupt, despicable human being in the history of presidential elections to run for office. And I'm talking about her husband ran, and he's close second.
You would never know it if you watch the media, but she's being sued by two Gold Star parents.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
What is that?
But you there are things like I always felt like there are certain things you could do that would show people what you are. You could be as nice as you want, but you see somebody kick a dog, that's a bad human being, right? I mean,
absolutely.
She called the families of 4 men she was responsible for being murdered liars.
Right.
After lying to them.
Which is what.
And I think
I would caution you at saying she's responsible for them being murdered.
Well, no.
Slow down there.
Look at the job description for Secretary of State.
Yeah.
Secretary of State. One of the bullet points is safety and security of American ambassadors and personnel overseas. So that was her job. She was in charge.
Sid doesn't want you to get suspended. That's why he's cautioning you.
You can't get suspended being unemployed.
I know that.
No, what are you talking about? You're doing a great job at Breitbart. You did a 3-hour show this morning.
But this is I honestly believe, based on her rhetoric and the things that she's done, you vote for her, you're turning your back on our police officers and their families and their children.
I mean, that's the one thing Peter King mentioned that on the Imus in the Morning Show on Friday morning. Hammer home the fact that she's a cop hater. She paints cops as racist. She had Michael Brown as mother at the Democratic National Convention. Paint that and the anti-military stuff and the corruption.
But you saw but but we're at a point now where people just laugh off the corruption.
Well, the media does.
You saw the tax return. $1,042,000 that Clinton gave to charity.
Yeah.
$1 million was to the Clinton Foundation.
Right.
They gave themselves $1 million
Still $1
tax
million
free.
more than Donald Trump's
No.
given to anybody.
No. They gave it to themselves.
I
They didn't give it to
understand.
anybody. Right? $42,000 to a charity golf tournament that 6 months later kicked in $700,000 to the foundation.
And can I just say
How do you know about that, though? I'm just curious. Because the taxes,
It's
right?
out, yeah.
But taxes that Donald Trump refuses to put out there.
I can't imagine why, because the media is, they won't make anything up.
Because he hasn't done anything. Maybe he hasn't made the contributions. Maybe he's not worth nearly the amount of money. Maybe he hasn't paid taxes. That's not possible,
He runs or owns over 500 companies. He's gone bankrupt less than 15 times, and apparently that's what everybody wants to
he
talk
uses,
about.
Advantageously.
He's created, 100,000 jobs,
The
maybe?
loopholes, and he's created jobs. And by the way, the Clinton Global Charity that people
God.
talk about, only 10% of that money goes to the actual charity. The rest goes to patronage jobs, goes to 4-star
Pay for
luxury
play.
hotels,
Pay
goes
for
to
play.
private jets. It's a bunch of crap. It's
scum of the
fund.
earth stuff.
So
They took
totally.
money from the people of Haiti.
I know, exactly. There were Haitians protesting at the Democratic National Convention. You would never know it if you watched the media.
Well, listen, if you close your eyes and you went to both conventions, at the DNC, you'd think the world is great. Everything's fine.
Right.
We're doing good.
Right.
Our cops are bad people, but hey, everything's. If you go to the RNC and you hear this, but it's always been that way. Republicans, conservatives, we live in the real world. We recognize the fact that all of the things that are happening. We want everybody to get along.
Hey, listen, CNN cut away from a riot at the Democratic National Convention to go to a performance of Boys to Men.
Yep.
I mean, we don't want to embarrass our candidate.
Don't bring up the conventions because the DNC was 1,000 times better. Forget about the rhetoric. It was just a better convention. It was produced better.
Just
the
another
people
media
were better.
example.
That's fine. But listen, I would ask you this. When Donald Trump loses in November, and he's going to lose.
No.
Yes,
he's going to win.
When he loses,
might win Reagan-esque like.
What is the excuse going? Is it going to be the media's fault? Is it going to be Paul Ryan's fault? Is it going to be Sid Rosenberg's? Well, how are all these millions of people that have voted for Hillary and will vote for Hillary come November?
No.
That's stupid. How are they that stupid?
Well, hold on a second. You're the same group of people that were saying that the Brexit vote was going to be Remain.
Excellent.
10 or 12 points before the day before the polls were showing us. The media is absolutely advocating for Hillary Clinton.
What I'm saying to you is that's fine. But if Trump wins, that's great. But if he does lose,
he's not going to lose.
If he does, in a hypothetical,
lose.
If he does, you're going to have to blame somebody. You're not going to blame him because he's been great. But who are you going to blame?
Who cares? I mean,
are you telling me that America is that stupid
Romney.
that we can't figure out that Hillary Clinton is
yes,
this awful
we
of a
voted
candidate?
Obama twice, so we are that stupid.
We are a nation of common denominator nitwits.
Listen,
people who watch
60, 70 years ago,
the Kardashians and Real Desperate Housewives.
60 or 70 years ago, blacks couldn't vote. 150 years ago, there was slavery in this country. 8 years ago, we elected an African-American president, and 8 years later, we are more racially divided than we've ever been in our lifetimes.
Look at Milwaukee.
How does that work?
Yeah, something went wrong. So the hope and change narrative did not play out.
Democratic socialism is doing wonders in South America. It's doing wonders over in Europe. I mean, Detroit. Hell, only 40% of the people in Detroit are unemployed, and the average income is a little over $14,000.
Right. The real unemployment numbers are staggering.
It's almost 100 million people out of work.
Obamacare insurance premiums are going to rise right after the election.
There's my man there.
The Milwaukee County
Clark.
Sheriff David Clark. Yeah, he's the one.
That's who. Yeah, put him in charge of Homeland Security.
Make him the VP choice. Donald Trump's VP choice.
Yeah,
absolutely right. The guy speaks.
Colonel West.
Power. Colonel Allen West. But listen, let us segue quickly because we have about 5 minutes here. So we want to get your thoughts on Alex Rodriguez and that whole embarrassing debacle that went down over
and
the
on top of that, not just that, but now reports are that with Stanton going down for the season with the Marlins, we knew this last week anyway, being that Alex is a Miami boy and Loria loves him, he in all likelihood is going to sign now with the Miami Marlins.
The only reason that would happen is because Jeffrey Lurie is the stupidest and worst owner in professional sports.
Agreed.
All right, I think the Yankees embarrassed themselves.
Yes.
In the way that they handled this. People don't understand. He played Friday, and he was unconditionally released.
The next morning.
He didn't retire.
Right. He was pushed out. Why was Girardi crying after the game? What was that?
But I don't know. That was...
I mean, wasn't he part of the guys who pushed him out?
Well, I'm assuming so, and he was not joking when he said they asked him about playing third base that last game. He
said, "No way."
He was pissed. Right. Like I'm not around to manage farewell tours.
Right.
Wait a minute.
Right.
2015 we said farewell to the king.
Well, that was different.
Why?
Don't badmouth Derek Jeter.
No, I'm not going to.
You can say what you want about Hillary
Listen, I
Clinton.
love competing against him, but I think, just like Ortiz this year, I think about halfway through the season, I think he was sick and tired of all of it.
Oh, I think you're right.
You know,
I think Mariano. But think of the juxtaposition. Friday night you had this A-Rod goodbye, which was a joke. Saturday they did in fact have a ceremony for the '96 team that won 1 billion games, and yesterday was Mariano Rivera Day.
Yeah, well,
think about that.
I don't wish anybody to feel like he's feeling right now, because Mariano Rivera was the only former teammate that showed up to the game Friday when he was quit, and then the next day,
oh really?
They all showed up.
Yeah,
and you know what?
Quite a statement.
But you know what? I think, but
plus it rained on A-Rod's parade, and the New York Post headline on Saturday: God hates A-Rod.
I can't remember, but I've got to come up. A couple of the headlines the New York Post has come up with in the last 30 days have been some of the greatest stuff I've ever read.
Yeah, so God hates A-Rod, and so does Curt
But
Schilling.
I don't hate him. Absolutely not. I got a chance to run into him in 15 when he reported to camp after everything that happened in 14, and I apologized to him. I because I'd read the article in ESPN, the magazine, how he confronted his daughters, and I had to sit down and explain to them how he was a fraud.
Yeah.
I don't wish any parent that he made his own bet. I'm not saying I feel sorry for him, because he made his bet.
But you don't hate him.
No,
he's not a pedophile or murderer.
He's not like a Clinton. I mean, he is. But he made his bet, and it was funny because I walked up to him and I said, "Hey, you know," and we had never got along. I did not like him when we played, and I said, "Listen, I just, you know, I read the article in the ESPN magazine. I just, you know, I want to apologize." He goes, "For which part?" But I said I wanted him to walk away. Because I know how much he loves the game. I know what a baseball genius he is. And I don't wish anybody to feel like that.
So if you don't hate Alex Rodriguez, give me 3 people. Give me and Bernard, us, 3 people. And it's a tough word, a very strong word, hate.
I don't use it. I can't.
Who are 3 people you strongly dislike?
Let's go loathe.
3 people.
Loathe.
Yes,
Hillary
3.
and Bill Clinton.
Hillary and Bill count as one because they're together.
Yeah,
that's one.
Right.
Could be an athlete, could be an entertainer, could be a politician.
Preferably a politician.
Michael Moore.
Oh, yeah.
That fat bag of
Hey, you fat shaming now. Yeah. By the way, did you see David Hinckley's picture?
Lena Dunham and Rosie O'Donnell.
Lena Dunham and Rosie O'Donnell. Okay.
Together they weigh 507 pounds, and Lena Dunham weighs 7.
She is gross.
They're gross.
She sexually abused her little sister.
Are they not reason enough to vote for Trump? Because they're leaving the country if he wins.
Absolutely.
Well,
not only that.
To be honest, you kind of get me.
All of these. Let me go back to this. The Olympics. All the anti-Semites at the Olympics, the Muslims, that she wants to allow them in exponentially more than what Obama's allowing in right now. The refugees with that similar mindset, gay hating, women subduing, Jew hating mindset.
She had the father of a mass murderer sitting behind her.
She didn't have that. She didn't know he was there. Stop.
Well, first off, you don't sit behind you don't sit behind anybody without being
Trump had a
vetted.
pedophile, Mark Foley, sitting behind him. Okay, a pedophile, Mark Foley, sitting behind him. One good turn, I guess, deserves another.
Really?
Well,
he murdered his son, and he made it very clear he doesn't like our country. He said it in the past,
right?
And it's just, I don't. It get.
Yeah. By the way, the pedophile heard that Trump was going to put minors back to work, and so it was a misunderstanding. So that doesn't count.
Not minors, ORS, right? ERS?
Yeah, it's just...
what's the matter
messages
with you? What's the matter with you?
Despicable.
So, Curt Schilling, listen, you survived throat cancer. You look great now. You put the weight back on. God bless.
Too much.
What is next for you? Work for Breitbart now?
No, I don't work for Breitbart. I did the morning show today. I'm getting ready to start my own show.
Remember what he said? He did not have sex with that woman.
Right, there you go.
Then a couple...
See,
isn't
that the beauty?
Yeah, I still love
when the
guy.
left and the right despise you right now, you're doing something right. Because I can't stand either side.
Yeah, but I can tell you that the left and right despise Hillary, too. There's a lot of people on the left that are really pissed
every
at
human
Hillary.
being in the world should. Hillary is everything that's wrong with this country.
Yeah.
Remember
with the system, yeah.
Wait, Republicans are rich white people, right?
Bingo.
Look at the 17 candidates.
I hear you.
You had an African-American, a woman, a Cuban, and a Mexican.
And they all lost.
And in the Democratic, you had an old white guy, an old white guy, and an old white girl.
How about that?
The Rock smells what you're cooking.
That is fair.
You're not me.
Well, that's why you at least said that. I don't know if you said this or intimated this a couple of weeks ago, that you are considering running for president of the United States.
No, that was actually a kind of an off-the-cuff comment after talking about running for a state office. I believe I'm going to run for
You are going to run.
I think I am.
In Massachusetts.
I would like to get Elizabeth Warren out where she belongs, which is back teaching her Indian brethren whatever it is they teach each other.
See, it's all personal with you. That's what's great about you.
Because,
it's personal.
Well, because I'm raising kids in this world.
I got it. Me too.
It is personal, yes.
We're handing them
That's right.
a crap show.
You can believe that.
And I am terrified of my kids never coming home from the mall or the movie.
That's
theater.
why it's personal, because it directly affects our kids.
I feel the same way.
Curt Schilling, we're desperately out of time. But we love you.
Thank you, guys.
We really do. Keep coming back.
Hey, by the way, we have Anthony Rumble Johnson from the UFC. Your quick thoughts on the UFC? Thumbs up or thumbs down?
I'm not going to thumb down those. There's one
it's
here.
a great sport. Curt Schilling on
Isn't that
Bernie and
stupid?
Sid. Anthony Rumble Johnson coming up next.
Thank you.
Thank you.